Okay. All right. Hey, everyone. This is Robin with Robin's Woodshop. Um, doing the video on kayaking. We're going to talk to a couple of guys that know way more than I do. Phil Jones and his son EJ. They've been in kayaking for quite a long time, and I'm going to let them tell us about their experiences. Also, we're going to look at 3 different types of kayaks, and they're both going to tell us a little bit about it. So let's get going.
Yeah.
All right. So, how long have you guys been kayaking?
Well, we started canoeing as a family probably 30 years ago. We were just doing really easy runs on like the Whitewater River Class 1 stuff. And then my dad and my brother got into whitewater kayaking. That was probably 25 years ago.
At least 20 years ago.
Yep. But yeah, I'm EJ. That's Phil. And yeah, we've been paddling for quite a while. Dad, do you want to talk about how you got into whitewater?
All right, I got into whitewater rafting. Basically, had a family cousin that taught kayaking. So I took a class, learned a little bit about kayaking, learned how to roll, which means if you tip upside down, you want to be able to roll back up without having to get out of the kayak. And you can see the playboat for this kind of thing is way different than the recreational boats. It's a bit shorter. It's made for maneuverability. So the one big difference too is you will wear a skirt.
Spray skirt.
I will put on. And this is not easy. It's tight. I'll have to be careful with the mic.
And maybe I'll just go ahead and pop it off you so you can do it because it's going to fall off.
Okay. Let me get my head through. Okay, you want to get it back on here?
There we go.
All right. All right, these are awkward to put on. They're snug to keep the water out, obviously, so it wraps around your body. And if you can imagine 4 or 5 playboat kayakers walking around with these on, it looks really funny and kind of looks like a skirt. I guess that's why it's called that. So then, the equally hard thing to do is to get it attached to your kayak.
And I'm going to help just to make it easy. All right, this is good.
Okay.
See if you can do it on the first go. Oh, almost.
There we go.
And that creates an airtight seal, so no water can get in.
It's not the most comfortable, but if you ever turn upside down and can roll back up, it is a really exciting, wonderful thing. If you ever get upside down and you cannot roll back up, this little loop is for the very purpose.
Oh, that's important.
You can pop that out and get out.
Upside down.
Not drown.
Yep.
So, there you go.
Have you had to do that?
And I have done that.
I've done that too as well.
Yeah.
I've done that on a class 4 on the West Virginia. All right.
So
But yeah.
You can get it all this.
So yeah, here's the 3 different kinds of main kayaks. This is a sit-in where your legs are actually inside of the cockpit, protects your legs. It's kind of nice. You can store a lot of stuff in there. And then the next kind, which have really made a big comeback in the last 15 years, are these sit-on-top kayaks, which you can see. All you do is sit inside of them. These are great for tall people. Really, really great for if you ever flip, because they can't fill up with water. So that's one really nice thing about these. I suggest these to a lot of people because they're just really, really great, really comfortable.
A little bit heavier than the yellow one, right?
Maybe a hair, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But still, one man, you can
Yeah.
carry it yourself.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And the seat thing, addition which we add.
Yeah.
This is also something that for me is imperative for kayaking is comfortability. this is just a camp folding chair. Crazy Creek makes them out of Denver. And then also this one's from REI, but it's just a support for your back. These things are famously
Short.
not very good. It's after being on one of these for 8 hours, your lower back will be killing you. So it's really nice to have one of these to support your back.
Yeah, because this is the yellow one's mine. I've used it, and it's really kind of miserable after a while, especially my bones are over.
Yeah.
But I thought about putting a pad in, but then that would sit me up higher.
Which is okay. I do that, and I like it personally. It only puts me up maybe an inch higher, but I
was worried about losing the back support.
Oh yeah.
This would be that much shorter if you're sitting up higher.
Yeah, but with that, it's nice.
I told my wife to get me put that on the Christmas list for me.
Yeah, great.
So, oh, the vest now
We're
maybe?
going to talk about these.
Yeah,
So we've got two different types of vests. The blue one's the one I wear, and then Phil has this. That's more of a white water, right?
yeah, it's kind of geared for whitewater travel, which this would actually be okay. I mean, this actually looks like a pretty snug one. Doesn't look too bad.
That's still good. All right, this is my PFD personal flotation device. You can edit that out.
Edit that out. Let's give it one more time. What is it, Dad? What is it one more time? A
PFD, personal flotation device.
Yep.
And this is made specifically for playboat people because it gives you very good maneuverability. You can, that's what you need for playboat. Rob has one that's probably more comfortable for typical recreational use. So
Yeah.
you can see it's just a little different, not as thick. And
And then we've all seen these if we ever went to camp as a kid. These are the old school ones that just go around your head. But they don't really do anything in a whitewater situation, just in a recreational situation.
Yeah,
All right.
My wife bought me those two kayaks. The vest came with it, and I do like the vest. I wear it because I really don't once it's on. I don't really notice it's there.
It's smart, yeah.
Yeah.
That
Anything about the paddles to talk about?
So if I have something to say about it. So there's two different kinds of paddles these days. There's the break apart ones, which with the push up a little button, they can pop open. And then the old school ones, which are just one piece.
for playboats.
For playboats.
Because that's just what everybody who does playboat whitewater rafting, they want something good like this. So
Which is understandable.
Considered better, and if you can spend hundreds of dollars on these, if
Much
you want to.
much stronger, of course.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you're in a recreational situation where you're doing class 1 or pond water, these things are great because number one, they stow away really easily if you're packing in a car. And then also, this is a move I like to use. I go in really shallow water, but one thing I like to do if I'm in a boat and I get stuck, say I'm in shallow water and I get stuck over everything, what I like to do is pop it apart and use these like ski poles, and I can push myself right off the whatever I'm stuck on. It works so good. It's actually a very good tip.
I'll ask EJ. You've guided as a kayak guide, correct?
Yeah. Well, both. I've been a kayak guide in the Red River Gorge inside of a limestone mine. Yeah, it was called the Gorge Underground, and we took people inside of a flooded mine, and it was pretty cool actually. It was like an hour-long tour. Yeah.
I did that earlier this year.
That's right. Yeah. But anyway, it's pretty exciting. The guides' boats have lights on the bottom, and the water's crystal clear because it's filtered by the limestone and it's spring water. So like it lights up all the water, and they put trout in there. And then I was also a raft guide in the Grand Teton National Park on the Snake River. I did rafting out there for a summer, and it was the best summer of my life.
All right.
So,
what's the most memorable trip you guys have had kayaking?
well, Dad, I'll let him tell.
My most memorable, without a doubt, my other son Matthew and I kayaked on the Red River in the Red River Gorge area.
The Upper Red River. That's
Upper
important.
Red River, which you can only do after it's been raining and thunderstorming for a while and just barely still raining maybe. Otherwise, you can't do that. But anyway, we happened to get lucky on a perfect weekend where it had been raining and storming all night. And Saturday, he has a boat just like mine, and we were going down the Red River. We were hitting lots of rapids, white water. We went down a waterfall into a nice little pond that was really cool. It was just awesome. Just an awesome day. You're out in the middle of nowhere, you're not knowing really when you're going to get to the ending point.
Yeah.
But we just lots of white water and little falls and stuff. That was awesome.
In the guidebook, the Upper Red River is it's the most pristine and spectacular runs in the state of Kentucky. It's kind of known as like the crown jewel, if you can get it at the right level. And that area is known for rock climbing, but if you're a kayaker and you're in the in crowd, you can know that the Upper Red River is just supremely beautiful. And I've done it on a raft, and it was just out of this world beautiful.
It's too shallow otherwise?
Yeah, you have to hit it just right. The CFS, or cubic feet per square second, has to be just right. And even the middle section of the Red River, you can do more throughout the year, and that's like just class 1. The upper red is like up to class 3. You know, there's 6 classes of rapids, class 1 through 6. Class 1 is the easiest. Class 6 is like deadly if you get out. So yeah, he was on class 3 rapids. The middle Red River is really beautiful and worth doing. It's just easy class 1, which is very simple, tiny riffles.
You got a most memorable, DJ?
Yeah. Gosh. I would say I did a whitewater kayak trip on the Snake River. This is in Wyoming, and I was rafting on pretty much flat water. And there's actually the Snake River Canyon is like class 4. Anyway, I ended up doing that the same summer, and I rented a kayak and went with a friend who had never actually been whitewater kayaking, and she was freaking out and hyperventilating like the entire time. But she flipped and survived with maybe she might have had 1 or 2 panic attacks. But for me, it was like the most amazing run because I'd never done it, and there, just towering big cliffs all over the place, and new exciting whitewater.
So along those lines, what's the most scariest? Anything scary happen to you anytime?
Yeah, we were talking about the Upper Red River. I did a trip on the Upper Red River on a raft with 3 other people, and there was one guy who his name was Dan, and he was the one that was kind of guiding us. And then there was 3 other people, so we had 1 on each side. We were doing the Upper Red River, which is in the Daniel Boone National Forest, and it's in like straight up wilderness. Like there's no roads. Like an emergency there is just like you don't want it to happen because you're like 7 to 8 hours away from rescue. But anyway, we were doing the Upper Red, and long story short, our boat hit a boulder, and then one of the girls went out, and then anyway, our raft went into a class 3 rapid sideways, and of course the whole boat flipped. And anyway, I got pushed onto a rock, and Dan, the guide, he was like screaming to me like, get on top of the boulder, because you can get sucked in sometimes. So anyway, I climbed on top of the boulder and then watched everybody else continue downriver. And so I was just separated from my group for about an hour. I didn't want to jump in the water because I'm not a great swimmer, and I didn't know what was around the corner. So anyway, I ended up walking along the shore, which is like big boulders and cliffs, with 1 shoe on. I had lost a shoe. So anyway, for about an hour, I was walking along like just really kind of dangerous terrain. And I was yelling every couple minutes, like, hello, hello, because I didn't know how far my gang had gone down before they had righted the raft. So that was kind of scary. It was like an hour where I was like, man, if I had broken leg or something, I would have been in huge, huge trouble. But luckily, I was unscathed, other than losing a shoe. And
everybody else was okay.
One guy, he had got pinned in some boulders, but because the other 2 people were around him, they had helped pull him out. And in that time, I guess he'd gotten really cold. When I saw him, he was like still really blue. It was, I think it was early spring, so the water level, or the temperature was still pretty cold. And anyway, my friend, I remember him being like pretty cold the whole time, kind of shivering, but we put layers on him and finished the rest of the trip. But it was just really exciting. And just, you know, I'll never forget like seeing my group of people just like go around the corner, like fly down the river, you know, and I'm on top of this boulder surrounded by these huge waves, and it was
something you don't think about.
Yeah,
Getting separated.
it was a little terrifying. And I was actually on the search and rescue team for the Wolf County, and I remember thinking like, oh, if I got hurt, how embarrassing it would be to have to like call my people and be like, guys, it's me, EJ, I need a rescue. But luckily I didn't need a rescue.
Okay, good. Phil, you got anything?
Let's see. What was the river we were on? I turned over.
You were on Elkhorn.
Okay.
Yeah, we were on Elkhorn Creek.
Okay, which is, so for anybody's not familiar, we're most of these places we're talking about is Kentucky.
Kentucky, yeah.
And that's down by Lexington, Georgetown.
Frankfort, actually. It's on the outskirts of Georgetown, or it runs through Georgetown. But the Elkhorn Creek has its confluence with the Kentucky River right in Frankfort at our capital. And Elkhorn has two different forks that form a whitewater section. It's about 6 miles, known as the whitewater of the Elkhorn. And Dad and I did that. And Dad, I'll take it over to you. We were both in kayaks.
We were in an area that was kind of whitewater. It wasn't huge whitewater.
A class 2.
Rough enough, and it wasn't very deep. And the whitewater helped, it turned me over. And with it not being very deep and big rocks, very shallow underneath the water, I started getting hit by these big rocks as I was being dragged along upside down in my kayak. So it was hitting my face, and we were having helmets on, which helped a lot, of course. But it did smash my glasses and bruised up my face.
He got a cut over his brow.
Out. Yeah, I popped out as fast as I could when I knew I wasn't going to be able to roll back up. But it was just upside down, being beat up by rocks in the strong current. It was kind of scary and not very fun.
Okay.
I survived.
It could have gone a lot worse. Like if his glasses had broken or something had jammed in, it could have gone a lot worse. But yeah, I remember Dad pulling up beside me. I don't know, like 10 minutes later, I was like, where has he been? And there's like literally blood dripping down his face. His his helmet's all sideways. And like he was starting to get the beginning of a black eye. He had a black eye for like two weeks from his glasses, like pushing into his cheekbone.
But it's worth it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Kayaking's fun. I enjoy it.
For a good story.
Yeah, it was a good story.
Exactly.
Good time on the whitewater?
Yep. This is the, what is this, the Miami River?
Whitewater.
That was whitewater. Is it Miami whitewater or just whitewater?
I think it's just whitewater.
Whitewater River?
It runs into the Great Miami River about a mile that way. That's where it has its confluence.
There's so many Miamis and around
There's
here.
The little
and-
Miami,
yeah.
where Dad works.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Whitewater River. It's a good run.
So Phil and EJ have a game where they collect trash. Pretty good. So they try to see who can collect the most trash during each kayak trip. So
Fun challenge.
exactly. Very nice. Very nice.
Dad, you got me beat. I got 3. But my goal is to get at least 3 if I'm by myself. So. Dad, would you get 7 pieces of garbage?
2, 4, I guess 6. I counted the water holder.
So I didn't get in on it, but I should have. I wish I would have. They went and they found a ham, an actual ham in the water, but we left that. A little too big and smelled pretty bad, I guess.
It smelled like ham.
That smelled okay.
Didn't actually
All
smell
right.
rotten.
Well, good.
A hobo would have eaten it.
All right. Well, that was a good trip. First time I've tipped over.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not used to current. This is a step up for me. So, had some experienced people with me today. So, it's been a good time.